Joelle at Brooklyn Book Doctor. How's it going? It's a rainy day here in Brooklyn, but it's nice to be inside getting work done. And today I'm going live with client Catherine Liggett, who's in Seattle. Maybe it's not as rainy there as it is over here. And we're going to talk about a little bit about her book journey. As you may know, applications to Book Proposal Academy are open, and it's always great to hear from people who are in the Academy about how it's going for them. So you can hear on the ground what it's like. Here are some Brooklyn sirens for you, just to put it all in scene and context. We're going to talk about some aha moments that happen along the way in your book journey. And here's because often it is not what you think it is. The book journey is hi, there you are. Hello.
Hi, Joelle.
Hi. Beautiful background.
Thank you. You've never seen these. It's in my kitchen.
Really love that. Awesome. Thanks for being here today with me. And
thanks for having me.
yeah, I see some people joining. Hey, folks. Welcome, welcome. For those who are just joining, I am Joelle Hann. I am Brooklyn Book Doctor, and this is Catherine Liggett. What is it? I know you were thinking about this. What do you call yourself? What do you call yourself?
I'm a personal growth mentor, a practitioner, a culture worker, all of those things.
All of those things. Yes.
Teacher on
Awesome.
Insight Timer, for those of you who know the app.
Yep. Someone saying hello. The Savage Queen.
Hi.
Well, awesome. I'm glad you could join me today. As you know, the virtual author retreat happened yesterday, and one of the things that we were talking about in the panel was the aha moments that you have on the journey, on your book journey. Because in my experience working with people, the book journey usually turns out differently than you expected. And even that is unexpected. So there can be aha moments of all different kinds of nice surprises where you're really happy about something happened, some transformative surprises where you didn't expect something and it feels a little rough and then it turns out to be awesome. And then there's ones that are just challenging and you have to face yourself or the process in some way that you didn't realize you were going to. So anyway, that's a lot of options. Is there anyone that's coming to mind for you?
I'm just like laughing and smiling my way through all of those because I'm like, yes, 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 yes.
Well, first of all, actually, let's back up a second. Tell us your title.
So my book is Tender Revolution, The Power of Softness to Overcome Self-Judgment, Create Thriving Relationships, and Discover Unshakable Self-Worth. It's a book of paradigm shifting self-help that proposes radical acceptance as the most powerful catalyst for change, which is completely the opposite of what we're taught in the wellness industrial complex, in American culture in general, and Westernized culture in general. And so we grow up in this culture, those of us who are in America, basically absorbing that we need to be happy to be okay. We need to seem happy. You know, like when I lived in Austria, it was different. Like people could show a wider range of emotion, but like here it's actually bad if we say I'm fine. You're like, oh, what is going on with this person? And there's an enormous amount of what I call emotional shame that we pick up, that we absorb through osmosis, through our culture, and then through our parents, our families, which are messengers of culture. And so my book is the antidote to that, because the center of my book is the answer of how we overcome all of that shame, which is at the root of so much mental illness right now, which is skyrocketing especially for younger folks. So I teach the FACE method, FACE, which is feel, amplify, connect, and embrace. And these are 4 steps that I walk through very specifically and practically to teach us exactly how we sit with specifically our emotional pain, because most of us are just terrified of it because of this emotional shame we've absorbed. So we need to learn how to sit with it and move with it, accept it, move through it in order to actually heal instead of numb, run from it, deny, spiritually bypass everything that we're taught to do in the culture and in the wellness industry in general. So that is my book.
That is a very cogent explanation. I was rapt.
Well, it's all because of you, Joelle. You've helped me find so many of those words. And that's, I mean, I came into the program, speaking of breakthroughs, I came into the program really like having a background in running my own, very, very modest, small business in personal growth. But so I had some marketing background just from what I'm a philosophy major and a counseling school dropout. Like I struggle with marketing, but I had done it. But I first approached my book kind of like, what do they need from me? Like, what do people need from me? Kind of like this marketing perspective. But one of the things that was one of the first breakthroughs I had in our program is that, wow, I actually need to write from my soul, like from my soul. Like what am I here on the planet to say? Yeah. And I was just talking to somebody who's new to our program, who's going through this similar kind of initiation, that especially for women, we have this conditioning to be for others, to speak what the other person, what we project that they need from us. Yeah. And so I've been on a personal growth journey for 20 years, and I can say with certainty, I've never done anything like more intense and initiatory than write my book through this program. Because particularly that first initiation of, oh crap, I'm still writing for other people. Even though I thought I was writing what my soul wanted to write, I was still writing for others. What does that really mean? So just peeling back more of those layers. And so I've been in the program now for, 6 or 7 months, and I have my proposal done. I just submitted my final revisions to Joelle, and I'm looking for agents now. And I'm a different person. I'm just more confident. And I've found the words, with your help, finding the words to help me kind of birth, midwife, what my soul's mission is to put in my book has been completely transformative.
That's quite amazing. Nothing short of that.
Yes. No, it's been incredible. That's the one thing I was telling the new gal in our program is she was like, why am I crying so much? I'm just writing what my book is going to help people with, but all of this grief is coming up and I don't understand why. I'm like, okay, sister, I got you. I was right there. This is and she's a therapist, and a healer. I was like, I totally relate. This is so this is an initiation. This is nothing less than that.
That's very profound. And I know that it's true. And yet it's so great to hear it. If you're someone who appreciates the initiatory process.
And Joelle is you're a midwife of the voice. You're a midwife of the voice. That's how I experience you.
I'm very honored to hear that. Thank you. Thanks for saying that. Yes. So Book Proposal Academy is a program that Catherine is talking about. And it really does take you from this place where you want to write a book and you're clear about wanting to write a book. Maybe you're not 1,000% clear about what the book is, because we're not really clear until we start writing or we start thinking about how it's going to be in the world or how we're going to be in the world with it. Those things come when we really put pedal to the metal and say, okay, I'm not just saying this anymore. I'm actually going to do it. And that's where the transformation starts to happen. Not just in the things that are required from you, but also you've kind of thrown something down to the universe and said, okay, let's go. And the universe says, okay, then let's go.
Yeah. That was a really important breakthrough for me too in the program, because I come from an academic background where I want to write something perfect right now. And it was a struggle for me to learn how to be, as we say in the program, fast and loose about writing, and to know that it actually emerges, like my book comes into form through the process of writing it. And that was so backwards from what I learned, which is like brain dump and there's the material, but actually it's so nonlinear and it's kind of cyclical like that. I write and then I get insights and I write again, and it's been incredibly healing for this recovering perfectionist.
Yes, I remember you
Yeah.
going through that process and thinking, oh, wait a second, I spent so long perfecting that paragraph and that page, but actually now I have all these other insights and I know I'm going to need to go back and change a bunch of things. So why did I spend all that time perfecting that?
Yeah, it was totally counterproductive because like the word I use is it wasn't modular anymore, and I needed to be able to move things around. But if I perfected a paragraph, then I couldn't move it around anymore. So then it took even more time. So I had to unlearn that. So much unlearning.
And then so much learning, like you're learning
Yeah.
in your own style, in your own voice. Like there's so much about deepening into your authenticity through this process.
Yeah, and right now I'm laughing because the primary audience for my book are millennials and Gen Z, and it's really important for me to have a voice that's a little bit funny when I write. And like right now, the first sentence of my book does include the word but. And I'm going to ask you about that. But like, I'm kind of a goofy, expressive person, like when people talk to me. And so I kind of looked at my writing when I started the program and like, I'm not like this, I'm not, because I was writing more stilted and academic. And it's like coming into my voice and writing more like how I actually am and how I talk has been so healing too.
And that's very normal because we default to the position that we remember the most strongly being the most authoritative position. So wherever
Yeah.
you got the feedback of like, this is how you stand out as an expert, or this is how you establish your authority, or however, that could be like in your case, it was academia. For other people, it could be on Instagram, perhaps they're getting positive feedback about, oh, I love your captions. So then we default to like, I will do it that way because that's what gets a response, right? That's just something that we learn through reinforcement. And
And again, like that's what they want me to be.
exactly, exactly. Not what your calling is, what your voice is, who you naturally are. And that switch into the voice that you're saying, like, I'm a little goofy. And on the page, I really want to be that because I think that's going to be where my audience is going to find an entryway to my material. Like, that is so helpful to know that you don't have, that your authority doesn't have to come from the old ways of
Yeah.
getting authority. And also your audience is going to really appreciate that about you. So it's not like you're ditching what you knew as expert building before for no reason. It's actually more relatable in this case.
Totally. And that's the feedback that I get to like on Insight Timer and from other places where I teach is that people say like, I love how you're not too serious. Like you're talking about these really heavy things, but it's actually lovely to listen to you because you're not so serious. And so it's not heavy like it could be, because
Right.
we're talking about shadows and we're talking about trauma and we're talking about emotional pain and like, but there's this layer of lightness to it. And so I wanted to make sure to translate that onto the page too, because I know that has authentic, true authority that comes from relatability.
Yeah, that's so great. I love that. So those are some pretty big transformations and wins. Is there anything else going on right now that feels like a big transformation or win? Could be something that's felt like not a win, then was a win, or it wasn't a win, then it was, like, is there anything else in there?
I recently got some celebrity endorsement for my book.
Yes.
I don't know if that's what you were hinting at.
Open question.
Um, but yeah, it's been a really amazing process to, like, it occurred to me that I had this family friend connection with Bassem Youssef, the political satirist and author of Revolution for Dummies. And I thought it was a real stretch to reach out to him about my book. And as I've shared in our program before, like it really pushed all my buttons of worthiness to reach out and be like, hey, would you write a book blurb for me to support my book? And he was really enthusiastic about it, and he wrote me this amazing blurb. Like Bassem Youssef, political satirist, wrote me the best blurb out of all the ones that I've gotten, I think, from like psychologists, psychotherapists, personal growth people. It was the comic who wrote me the one that I was like, wow, he really, really gets this work. So another breakthrough and growth point from the program has been actually like what I call love resilience, which is
I love that.
it's I discovered that it's actually really challenging for me, and I think for a lot of other people too, to have success. Because as I teach in my work, those of us who identify with struggle from, for example, a trauma history, register being seen as a threat. We register success as a threat because, like, how can we control that? Like, once you get out, once people hear about you, once people see you at a wide level, you lose layers of control on the experience. And so it was surprisingly hard to get that celebrity endorsement too, like, as well as being incredible, but it's just such a rich process. Again, like there is no more intense and fulfilling personal growth work that I've ever done than this program.
And you said many times, and I believe it's really true for you and many other people, that you have had to apply your own method to yourself during this process.
Oh, so many times, like every day. Every day. I mean, like the shortcut of my method is just to notice what I'm feeling and say to myself, I love you in this fear. Like, I love you in this nervousness. I love you in this, like, whatever I'm feeling that I don't want to be feeling. Like, whenever there's part of myself that's like, you shouldn't be afraid of this, or, no, I love you in that fear. And then paradoxically, it dissolves, it shifts and changes when I offer that radical acceptance with my whole heart. It just kind of goes, phoom, whereas it had been before like this, like I talk about like two bucks, like locking antlers. When we resist our state, it's like this. But when we can soften, it goes, phoom, and suddenly we're free to change. So yeah, like I use that principle many times a day.
Wow, that's so interesting. Yeah, that's really powerful. I imagine it might have brought up some conversations in your family too about what you're doing. Your husband.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like my 3-year-old can't really participate yet, but like he's like so 100% behind me, and I couldn't, I wouldn't be able to do this program without his support on so many levels. And so yeah, I get nothing but support. And my dad, of all people, sent me this birthday card that says, you have the power to change the world.
That is awesome. Way to go, Dad.
I know. Wouldn't expect that, but I'll take it.
That is awesome. Yeah. And I know you had a birthday recently, so happy birthday again.
Thank you.
I feel like it's a great place to be when you cross a milestone like a birthday and you feel like, you know what, I'm transforming in a way that I feel really happy about. Like I've met myself all the way along the way in ways I didn't expect, and I'm happy with how that's going and looking forward to the next phase of it, because you're right at that phase of getting ready to research agents and pitch. So you're like at the end of the bridge. The beginning of the bridge is you're coming in with that idea and going over the bridge. You're going through the process of figuring out what it is and what your voice is and how you're presenting it, who you are in public, who your audience is, that kind of thing. And now you're about to launch into a much more public arena, but you feel confident about that in a way that when you started, you couldn't have imagined. That's what I'm guessing. You couldn't have imagined how you would feel at this moment.
No, I mean, I can't imagine how anybody would write a book without this program, or like, or a proposal. Like I can't, because in addition to the proposal itself, just like the level of clarity that I have through going through the proposal writing is just nothing, like you said, nothing that I would have ever imagined having before. And especially in in self-help, like in healing, there's so much out there that's too vague and that doesn't get picked up or doesn't get sold, doesn't get believed, or like because it's just too vague. Like, what does healing mean? What does it mean to live your best life? What does it mean to, whatever? Just and so like the clarifying process has been so incredible through the program. And so yeah, I feel really confident about pitching my book, even though it could be like, because of its subject matter, it could be quite vague, but it's not, because of all the feedback I've gotten, the help I've gotten through the program.
And your hard work and tenacity.
Thank you. Yeah.
And your willingness to go there.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I was just writing in my journal about how, like, because it's equinox, it's about what are we letting go of and what are the next steps. And I'm really good at jumping into things and kind of leaving my body behind a little bit. So it's like I can overfunction, or like I can write a great proposal, but then my body's like, hey, like, slow down a little bit, take me along with you. And so I'm working on that now too.
I love it.
But the wound is also a gift, like that wound of like,
right.
of hard work and tenacity that was a trauma response is also a really great gift and has allowed me to propel through the program.
Yes, and we've watched you with excitement come up to this moment. So I'm really excited to see what happens, where you go, where you take it now. Do you want to tell us your book title again, one more time?
Yeah, Tender Revolution. The power of softness to overcome self-judgment, create thriving relationships, and discover unshakable self-worth.
Such a good title.
Thank you. Oh, hi, Catherine.
Hey, Catherine. And the program that Catherine Liggett is in with me is called Book Proposal Academy. And we are accepting applications right now. The link's in my bio. So if this sounds like something that you would benefit from, you have a book to bring into the world, go ahead and apply. Hey, Catherine. And I will be very happy to review your application. We have some great events going on in the next couple of days that you might be eligible to come to as well to learn more. So go ahead and click the link in the bio, check out the application. And Catherine, it's been so wonderful to be here today with you. Thanks for sharing and thanks for showing up.
Thank you. And if anyone wants to get the insider perspective on what it's like to be in the program, feel free to DM me as well.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Joelle.
See you soon.
You too. Bye.
Bye.